guys, thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. We love you so much. Extra special shout out to the Heimlich and the defibrillator tiers. We love you.
Thank you so much.
And you guys asked us some questions we will be talking about here today. So the first question is from Marzan. And they ask, are there any skit ideas that you guys regret not putting into production? Like maybe a role reversal idea you guys didn't get to do.
I do have a list of skits that we never wrote, but I don't know if I regret them.
There are times when I feel like I missed the skit days and I want to do it though.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to actually doing it and I'm like traumatized and I'm like, fuck this, I got too many other things to do.
Yeah.
Traumatized from what?
Huh?
Traumatized how?
Just from the workload plus doing 50 other things at the same time.
And trying to get it up on.
If it was just that, yeah, it was fucking cool. Because we had some great ass moments. But there was a time when it got to the point where it was no longer that much fun. Because, I mean, we did it for like 7 years, right?
Yeah.
And we had,
Every week, right?
Yeah.
Every week.
And we had so many other things we were doing at the same time. So it brings me back to that weird association of, shit, I gotta do another skit again.
And it's not fun anymore.
It's like a chore.
I ruin it for myself in my own head. Yeah.
That makes sense.
This is scheduling. Like even Danger Boys we finished it 2 months before we started production, and this is an all like in-house thing. So you would think we green light the script, we start shooting the next day, but it's just because our schedules are so crazy that we still have to weave it into our own schedule, and then we finally are like,
That's some good weaving.
okay.
I did a whole basket design.
And then so we're like, so even then it took 2 months, you know, just the scheduling part of like locking everything in.
It's just a bigger operation too.
Yeah.
But
And not as much reward because sketches don't do as well on YouTube as they used to. So you do all this work and it costs so much more money for production to do it, and then you don't get as many views or ad revenue because sketches aren't more than 10 minutes, so you can't even put mid-rolls or anything like that, and then the YouTube algorithm smothers them. It's a whole thing.
So that's the part where it makes it not fun anymore.
Because it's not even rewarding because half
Yeah.
of your subscribers don't even get to see it, or more than half, like only a fraction get to see it in their
Yeah.
feeds.
Because you do all that and then you don't get that many views, or you could like take a dump on your dog and then now you have like 50 million views.
Yeah.
Take a dump on your dog.
Or like fill your bathtub with jelly beans and then pee in it or something.
Yeah.
eat glow-in-the-dark glow sticks, then you take a dump on your dog, and your dog glows in the dark.
Are there not glow-in-the-dark glow sticks? You could just say glow sticks.
Actually, if you go to my grandpa's attic, yes.
Oh, I hate when that happens because they're
Oh.
just
Expired ones?
yeah, they're just like the color, the film.
I'm like, Grandpa, why do we still have these? He's like, I don't know.
The
Yeah.
time might come you might need them.
Yeah, right.
You ever put them in your freezer when you were a kid to
Oh, yeah.
like keep the glow going?
So sick.
I think I exhaust the fuck out of things that I like because I'm obsessive when I get into things to the point where I'm okay if I don't do it again. You do that too?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people have a weird idea about how passion works. Sometimes there are people out there that just stick to one thing. Like I'm a chef, I'm a whatever, right? But I think for most people, we have phases. And so like there's times where you might accomplish something to a certain point and you go, that was a great experience.
Some people don't get passionate about anything.
That too. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with any of that. I think it's just depending on who you are and how you get fulfillment out of
I
it.
always wanted to be the one that was just passionate about one thing.
I don't.
Always.
Me too.
Because I'm like, oh, they actually get to just
About
focus.
anything, literally anything.
But it's an obsession.
Yeah.
Because that was how my dad was. And he was always looking for perfection. And he told me that basically it's never good enough in his head.
Yeah.
And
That can kill you.
it can.
That can
Because
kill you.
he's always just, that's all that he thinks about. He's like, I didn't even think about my relationship. I didn't even think of my kids. I was so obsessed about music to the point where that was my escape, but my slavery.
It's an unfair standard too. How can you ever make anything if it has to be perfect? Nothing would have ever been.
But they create such greatness and it creates so much to the world. Yeah.
In the striving to be perfect, they
Yeah.
created so many other really amazing things. I guess on a broader scale, I feel that way about like not finding that one thing. It's like, I did all these other things. I get obsessed.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't have one thing that I'm like, ooh, I'm really, really, really good at this one thing.
The only thing that ever actually helped me progress was doing a bunch of different things.
Because you bring it back to whatever.
Yeah, making a bunch of different things. That's it. That's the only way that you can actually progress on anything.
But yours are all in the same category.
For sure.
So mine's like, I get obsessed with the stock market, and like I read all the books about the stock market, and I like learn how to invest, and I learn Warren Buffett strategies. I read all these biographies, and I get like super obsessed. I do the stock market, I have some success there, and then I get over it. I exhaust so much energy on like that one thing. I think that's what Joe and I are talking about. Like that's not my main thing. Like I was still doing comedy and acting, but like it's just like I get obsessed with this one thing, and then I get obsessed with another thing.
Have you ever heard of Mike Rowe? He does a show called Dirty Jobs.
Yes.
He says that all he does, his whole strategy, is that he just keeps doing the same show over and over again and just retitling it. Because, like, you know, you launch a thing, it runs out of steam, and then you just launch another thing and runs out of steam. You know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of, it's worked for him.
But for some people, like, it's really boring. Like, if I were to do that, I would want to fucking shoot myself.
Once you find the formula, it gets boring.
It subconsciously happens that way because then I'm like, oh, it's missing something. I gotta add a twist. I gotta do something because then it's not stimulating for me anymore.
Yeah, it's not stimulating. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, it's so stimulating, and then it just dies down.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. I'd be like, fuck, it's missing. It's so fucking dull.
Yeah, it's a fascinating thing because I heard that and I'm like, okay, I see that. It's not for me.
It's like when YouTubers get stuck in a format.
Right.
And they're like, at first they loved it and it's doing great, and then now they feel stuck in it because that's what all their audience wants to see, but they're bored with it.
And that's what happened with the skits, right? Like with you guys?
Yeah, I think also the amount of effort we put into it, we weren't getting the same, I guess, viewership or appreciation for it. So that, and we had other things going on like JK Party, JK News, where it was
growing.
Yeah, you don't spend 7 days to shoot one video, and it was growing faster. Like we'd spend an hour shooting like this, you know, we spent like 12 minutes per video, and it was like the same amount of views, and you kind of start to like.
Yeah, I think it stopped giving me back the reward. So I think originally, like, it filled a lot of things, like my creative expression. I was still learning how to create better skits. I was being able to express myself and my message and my stories. And it got to the point where sometimes you do exhaust yourself of lessons and stories that you want to tell, and you just kind of shooting in the dark hoping something sticks, right? And then there are moments where the payoff doesn't come through as well, like you're not monetarily, or like you're not progressing, or there's a lot of other rewards that you stop getting, and I think at that point that's when I'm like, oh, I'm done with this relationship. Because that's where I feel like it's all about fulfillment. That's where passion is, right? So if you could find growth, then it turns into a challenge, and then the challenge could turn into boredom if you don't challenge yourself or find something, like the routine thing, right? If you're just in it and you're not changing, you're not doing anything new.
There's no progress anymore.
There's no progress.
Oh, that's why people kind of tend to go through their midlife crisis, like in their 50s and stuff, 40s, because then they're like, the fuck?
Yeah. And
like, what else?
Every 10 years, people tend to change careers or positions or do something different, because it's really difficult for humans to just stick with something without any progress, because they attribute happiness to forward movement.
For sure, I do.
So if you're not growing, learning, building in any relationship, whether it's friendship, love, or your relationship to your work, then you start to get depressed, because there's nothing that's stimulating and rewarding. Like, I'm accomplishing things, I feel great about it. It just keeps going down because you're like, well, I'm doing the same thing and there's no challenge.
But then there's some people I've seen
plateaued
who upload videos on YouTube for 10 years now, and they get like 200 views of videos still, and they're still going at it.
They're relentless.
They
get some kind of reward then, you know?
Right,
like they might get something out of it.
Maybe it's like an outlet for them, you know, therapeutically. I actually that's why I kind of started liking my vlog channel more than my main channel, because I just feel like my main channel videos take so long to plan, and then like 6 to 10 hours of editing, and then they get like the same amount of views as like my vlogs that take 30 minutes to edit.
And they're fun. Your vlogs are fun.
And I have more fun on my vlog channel. Yeah. So I'm digging that more, even though that channel only has like 67,000 subscribers, and my main channel has like 580 something thousand. Vlog channel is way more fun.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, if, you know, a lot of people are given the question, like, would you rather make 100 grand, but you hate your job and you hate what you're doing, or would you rather make 50 grand and you actually like your coworkers and whatever?
Yeah.
I think that's actually how people should choose their degrees. Because a lot of people choose their degrees going for the 100 grand, but not knowing that they're gonna fucking hate that shit. The reason why they pay you more is because it's harder, not because mentally and emotionally harder.
And plus, I think when you make something new, you lose whatever standards and rules and bullshit that you had in the last one, you're more free to explore and create something new.
that's true.
So you have more fun with it.
It's like you get to be a beginner again. Beginner's mindset's always fun because
Yeah.
you're not scared of. There's no standard in place already.
You're not jaded either.
Yeah, you're still learning. You're giving yourself time to learn and like fall on your face and get back up and stuff. Whereas like after you've been doing it 10 years, you're like, I should be here by now. I've been doing it this long, and like there's a certain precedent.
I do believe in exit strategies too, because we never really came up. I know in business you're always supposed to have an exit strategy, because the point of creating anything is to know what relationship you want out of it and how you're going to feel like accomplished from it, or else you just go until burnout.
The proper way is having it even at the beginning.
Yeah, when you create a business plan, that's what you're supposed to do. It's like, once it gets to this point, we're gonna sell it to another company, or once it gets to this point, like whatever you want out of it, right?
Right.
And so when you have an endless goal, it just keeps going and going.
I think my problem is the things I get excited about were my exit strategy to this other thing over here. So it was always just like a fun thing on the side that then became like
Yeah.
the newer thing.
didn't know it
So I
was
never
that.
had an exit strategy for this thing because I thought it was a hobby.
Oh yeah, like this. JK News was a side thing, but we all fucking love the shit out of it. Yeah.
So, in terms of questions, that's all you guys submitted for this video, but there are 2 comments that stood out that I have in front of me that I wanted to share with you guys. So the first one is from Grace Galbraith, and she says, I would love to say to the cast, thank you for putting a smile on my face when I was going through the passing of my mom, and always putting a smile on my face and making me laugh. I appreciate you guys.
You're welcome.
So sorry, but thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
I know, sorry for your loss. And then also April Reyna, she says, Joe reminds me of my fiance. I have been through 2 miscarriages, and my last partners left me hospitalized, traumatized, and fearful.
I feel I'm leaving her? What?
No, hold on.
Oh.
So first she starts it off with like, you remind me of my fiance, someone
And
who
I
I'm
hate
currently with.
Oh, okay.
And
And then she took like a 40-foot dive.
No, and then she's talking about her past with men. So this,
I jumped the gun.
Yeah, a little bit.
You're the knight in shining armor.
right.
I hope to God, yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
So let me read it again. Joe reminds me of my fiance. I have been through 2 miscarriages, and my last partners left me hospitalized, traumatized, and fearful of men. I thought I wouldn't find love at all. I was going after men that looked sane, but later were hurtful and psychotic. It took me getting with a man that looked insane on the outside to find he is a calm, loving, and intelligent man on the inside.
That's tight.
So women out there, don't sleep on Joe. He is a genius.
Sleep with Joe.
Oh, thank
That's what
you.
I'm saying.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
That was from April.
You're insane looking.
Yeah, you look insane. I know he looks insane, but once you get past it.
Yeah, just get to know him.
He's a
first. Get
genius
to
on
know
the
him.
inside.
He's good. He's a good guy.
What?
Just sleep with him.
I don't know how I look insane.
The glasses and your loud colors, like your
brand
colors are
maybe.
so.
Wearing black.
Like your whole brand, maybe.
And the tools.
It's in.
She swears I walk around the street going. "Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo."
Fuck. Who do you think you are?
You're right. Maybe yeah. You're right. Okay.
Really close.
Yeah, you guys are right.
It's been your whole branding all these years.
Joe came in the office today doing like a 100-meter sprint out of nowhere, and everyone was just like, "What the fuck's happening?"
Oh, I missed it.
I had to pee.
And he yelled he had to pee the whole time. I have to pee, I have to pee, I have to
We are the same.
That's true.
Yeah.
Nikki comes home, I can hear her in the hallway like that. And she runs in, runs all the way through, goes to the bathroom.
He knows not to try to talk to me now.
I don't even try.
How was your day? I gotta talk. I gotta pee.
No time to be cordial.
But anyway, thank you
We're
guys.
influencing you?
You are. Thank you guys so much for submitting this question and these comments.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
There's a plane going. But yeah, if you guys, I know the plane too. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to send them in, and we will do our best to answer them. Thanks.
Bye-bye.